Hi, I'm Liz with Liz Tove Properties, powered by EXP Realty. And for today's seller tip, I'm so excited to be here with my stager, Ellie Mays with Upstaging Design. And she is going to talk to us about getting your home ready for sale and giving some staging and design tips. And we are going to do this video at her beautifully staged Airbnb located in Cary, North Carolina.
When Liz asked me to do this, I told her what I really wanted to do was take her to my very favorite staging project, which is my very first Airbnb here at Cary. And when I started designing this unit, the principles that I use to set it up for design are the things that I tell sellers to do every day. We did a little bit more decorating and a little bit extra, and these things can be applied to living, but they can also be applied to staging. And we talk a little bit about decluttering and depersonalizing in every staging consultation, but you can take it up a little bit more. You can appeal to the buyers and draw on that emotional purchase by applying some design principles that anybody can do in their own homes.
That's great. And it's so important to appeal to a buyer's emotions. And that's one of the things Ellie tells me all the time. So I'm looking forward to you sharing your design principles. All right, we have moved into the living area at your beautiful Airbnb. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you did in this space to stage it?
So this is actually a small unit. It's only a 2-bedroom townhouse, a little less than 1,200 square feet. So the living space is super important, and it's probably important in any home because that's where people are going to live. It's important to have enough seating, but not have too much seating, that the scale of the furniture is going to work with each other, and that you're highlighting the fixed assets of the house. So if I was to put this house for sale, the thing that's going to get left behind is this fireplace. And by highlighting the fireplace with art, with furniture, with the layout of the space, that buyers can appreciate what's there and then also appreciate how they would use this space and how the furniture would get laid out. It's actually hard to imagine when it's empty because it is a small space.
I always find that when there's no furniture, people always feel like the space is so much smaller than it really is.
It does give you perspective. And in a small space, if the furniture is too big and bulky, then it makes the space feel especially small. But if you have a big room and you put little tiny furniture in it, it doesn't make sense either. So if I was to take this furniture out and put it in a much bigger space, it wouldn't make sense and it wouldn't look good.
Yeah.
The other thing that we did in here is we used some color, and you can see the color is throughout the unit. I used that mustard colored yellow because it was popular and on trend, and it's my new favorite thing.
That's awesome.
And everybody seems to really like it because it's different. And then what I did is I put it in this room, and then I carried it throughout the whole house so that it makes sense in the design. And then I anchored it all with some things that are much more neutral. I did gray, and gray actually works really well because it doesn't show dirt, and that was one thing that was really important to me in there. But then I used a lot of white furniture. It makes it feel open and spacious and airy. I used the white curtains. And so everything is repeated throughout the space. And I used a lot of greenery because greenery is easy.
Definitely. And it does look like a very warm and inviting space. Like you could just sit down and relax in it.
Everyone seems to enjoy it.
That's great. All right, we are in the primary bedroom at this Airbnb, and I know that the primary bedroom is very important for buyers. So Ellie, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you did to stage this room?
This is an important space in any home. And big or small, again, the scale is really important in it. It doesn't have to be a super fancy bedroom, and you don't have to go out and spend thousands of dollars on bedding. Open up a Pottery Barn catalog and you can get a really fancy bed. What I did here is I got something that was simple and neutral. Again, it's a small room, and so all the more important for the bedding to be light. You don't want it to be too busy, so we did a white bed with a little throw on it and then repeated the grays and the whites around the room. The things that people don't do in their bedroom, nobody buys themselves matching lamps. Really? Just go to Home Goods and buy some lamps, but to have two matching lamps on the nightstands and some bedding that just makes it feel special.
Yeah.
That will make all the difference for the buyer.
Well, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that tip. Ellie, we are now in this cute little kitchen here, and I know it's an Airbnb, so people are going to stay here and be using all these appliances, and it makes sense to have them out on the counter right now. But if you were going to list the home tomorrow for sale, what would be some of the things that you would do to set this kitchen up to be ready to show well in photos and in showings?
Well, one of the things that's unique about Airbnbs is that all the buying decision is made based on those photographs online. And so when you're looking for a place to rent to stay for a few days, you want to know if there's appliances and all the things that you're going to need to have to stay in a house. But if I was going to stage this and take photographs to put it online for sale, there's things that are not as pretty, like toasters and microwaves and paper towels and dishwasher tabs. Those are some things, or my recycle bin. It's really not that pretty. But they're all really important for the buyer or for the Airbnb guest to do. So I would clear off my refrigerator and take the microwave away and the paper products and cleaning supplies. Those kinds of things I would put on the counter. But it's okay to have a little bit to make it feel like a special place and for the purpose that it is. So a decorative cutting board or some pretty flowers or a coffee maker that's in good condition. Because not everybody's coffee paper is show ready for staging. So I would take a few things out of here, make it feel a little less cluttered, but then also use some of the decorating that I've done.
That's great. Thank you so much. Ellie, thank you so much for your time today and for all the information that you shared. I know it is helpful. Ellie has helped so many of my clients get their home ready for sale. I've seen some very, very positive results in some cases where they work with her, they do everything that she tells them to do, and then they get their home ready and they're overwhelmed by the response from the market. So Ellie, why don't you tell us a little bit about what you offer to sellers?
The main thing that I do for your clients and most realtors' clients is a staging consultation. And what we do is we go inside, outside, room by room, closets and everything, and talk about all the things that the seller can do to get the house ready for marketing. We talk about furniture placement, what goes out, what gets put away, things that they can do, either adding or subtracting in decorations, if they should buy some new bedding or something like that for their house, and then any kind of upgrades that might make sense for the house. Nobody wants to spend money when they go to sell their house, but there's certain investments that are going to make a really big difference to the buyer and how they are going to perceive the value of the house. So in that consultation, we come up with a list of everything that they could possibly do to get their house ready, and they can do everything or they can do nothing. It's all up to them. It's their house, but it's all meant to them for them to get the most out of the house when they sell it.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I know she goes to a level of detail to even provide exact lighting if you want to replace lighting or paint colors as well. So I know it's been super helpful to a lot of my clients. So Ellie, why don't you tell them your website and where they can find you?
I'm at upstagingdesigns.com. All of my social media is Upstaging Designs.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for the time today. And thank you so much for letting us use your Airbnb for this video. I really appreciate it. And I look forward to talking to you again soon.